Hello there, it's Vanessa popping in for some creative fun today, and I'm trying something a little bit different where I'm just trying to get rid of that glare. I'm starting off with my hands because I'm just trying to see if that's just more appealing to people when you come across my videos. So I just thought I would try that out. I'm just making sure now that I'm live with sound with my hands. Right, goody, we're off and running. So welcome along. And it's another nice warm day here in the country. So today I'm using Greenery Lane. So this is a bundle. You've got a set of stamps and coordinating dies. And then also in this is a, now I've lost it. Oh, it's over here. Roll of washi tape. And washi tape is fantastic sort of repositionable tape. But what they've done here is they've actually printed the design onto the tape, and you can use the dies to cut these leaves out. And so it just gives you another dimension, I guess, to how you use the product. So I've got some here, and you can stick this to different things. So I've got some here that I stuck to vellum, and one that I stuck so you can compare. So this one was stuck to vellum, and this one was stuck to white cardstock. So you can see the difference. This one's a lot more sort of floaty and dreamy, and this one's got more of that sort of white background to it. And it is sometimes hard to tell the difference when they're turned over, but you can see from this side that that one's sort of got the clear, and this is solid white. So that's two ways that I've done so far of putting it onto paper. You could use a lighter coloured, so that's kind of like a Lost Lagoon type shade. So you could use, it would be interesting to see what it would look like on Lost Lagoon, but also you could use, a lighter blue cardstock and see what that effect was. But just be aware that if you put it on a blue colour, you do have some greens in here as well. So it's a mix of what you get on the roll. So you've got some greens and some blues all in the same sort of area. They're really easy to cut out. They're not too close together. So you can do a couple at once. And I just thought I'd show you quickly how to attach it to the paper. So the tape is 9 centimetres wide. So, and I've got a piece here that's 5 centimetres long. And see, my cut edge here is not very straight. So I'm actually going to start sort of off the, although, oh yes, I'll be cutting that out. I actually won't get use of that. So it's something else to look for, is just to see what parts you'll be able to actually use if you are cutting them out. This one I'm about to do is actually just for a strip on a card. So, so it is a little bit, you sort of have to have your wits about you when you're using it. So I'm just going to line it up with the top of my paper, like so. And it's easier on a smaller piece like this, which is why I chose to show you this. But there you are, that's attached. So when you're using a larger piece, so really I'm just following the line, the cut edge of the paper there to get it lined up. If you're doing a larger piece, like a whole card front or something, I would recommend starting, and then you can actually stick it to your mat and have, say, pretend my cardstock went on here to the right, and then you can just get your bone folder and have it flat and just press as you go so that you don't get any air bubbles in there. So a little bit of practice. Start off with small pieces, and it's quite easy to attach. So that is for a later project. So I'm just going to trim that off like so, and I'll trim the other end. So if I turn it this way, I can got a guide there with the cut edge of the paper. And then that is ready to use on a future project. So if I was wanting to cut these out, I would have needed a bigger piece to make sure I had whole leaves there that I could cut out using the dies. And a little tip with the dies, I'll just quickly show you. This one here and this one, not so much that one, they've got a little dot, a little hole, I don't know if you can see that, on the bottom. And what it's a good idea to do is you've got your stem, if I just put that on top, you've got your stem there. So what I do is I put it on and I think it's all lined up, and then I just make sure that I can see a little bit of green or whatever the colour is through that hole. That's not a good example because it's a little bit short. Here we go, that one's better. So you see, you should be able, I don't know if you can see that, it's probably too far away, but there's just a little bit of green showing through that hole. So I know that my stem is, you know, in about the right place, because it's very easy to think you've got it lined up and then you do it and you find you've got your stem. In fact, this one's a good example. It's very much over to the left. So I could have had that a bit more centered. So that's my other little tip for the dies. Now let's get creating. Don't think I need those, so I'll put that away. That's for later. Oh, and this I've just got to show you. I cut out some this morning. So this was my piece I started with. I put the washi down. It was actually wider than I needed. And then I was able to cut out all of those shapes, all of those leaves from that. And I didn't cut that top one just because the points of those leaves are off the edge. But you could still cut that out and find a way to use it without the points. You can maybe cut that off and have it more as a shorter one. So, you know, most of it is usable. Okay. So for today's project, I have gone ahead and got a thick white card base. I've got a strip of DSP that's 2.5 centimetres wide. And this one is from Lovely Blossoms, which is a really pretty set of paper. And then I've embossed a piece of white with a folder called something leaves, Gathering Leaves, I think it's called. It's actually, as soon as I bought it, it went on the retiring list. But it's a really, really pretty folder. So I thought that was appropriate for this card with leaves. So those are both cut, so I've got quite a wide border around my card base. So we could go ahead and stick those on, actually. Just take the DSP first and go around that edge. Excuse me, I've got a frog. So now I'm just going to slip that back under and work out where I want it to go before I haven't pushed it down yet. So I'm just checking the gap on this side against the gap on that side. I think that's about right. And then I'll stick this one down. So I will have all the measurements for this on my blog after I post the photos and everything. I don't tend to make the project in advance. I kind of have things where I play with things and work out what I'm going to do, but then I just make the one on the live video most of the time. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is this piece here is going to go right across to that right hand edge, so you can still see my leaves and my pretty paper, but I'm going to stamp on this one, and there's a couple of things I'm doing. So for my classes this month, I made this little mask. So this is from the Lovely Arrangements, and I'll just grab the set here. Lovely Arrangements, and this is the set that goes with this paper, the Lovely Blossoms paper. But in this set, there's this die here, which cuts out these flowers. So what I've done is I've made a mask using, or a stencil, I guess you'd call it, using window sheet. And so I've cut out those little flowers, and then I'm just going to sponge through it. So I'll just pop that down, and I've got a little bit of washi here just to hold it. So it really doesn't matter where this goes. We're going to put elements on top of this, but it gives a nice little subtle background. And I just want a little bit of crumb cake. And I'm just going to go through these holes and just make these flowers. And I'm doing it fairly light. I don't want it... Oh, I could probably go a bit darker than that. And the beauty of doing it on window sheet like this is it's reusable. So that's a really nice subtle background with those little flowers. And if you feel that it's missing some in one area or something, you can just maneuver it around and then just do another couple if you want to fill in a space like that. We could do one up here sort of off the edge as well. So that's our background. And added to that, I'm going to stamp now. And I decided to do my outline of my leaves in crumb cake. And I'm going to stamp it off. Now, let me just move those. Now, I want the white ones, not the... I don't want to mix them up. The vellum is really pretty, but I already stuck it to white, so we'll just go with that for this card. Okay, here's my stamping off paper. I'll stamp that there. And actually, my card's going to go that way, so I'll get it in the right orientation. And then I'm stamping. So it's just a lighter version of the crumb cake. So I just want it sort of light and floaty. Oops. Stuck to my finger. And then we'll do one coming out that way. Right. Oh, I'll leave that there because I'm going to use that again. So now I'm going to fill those in with Lost Lagoon. So this is a stamp. So it's what they call a two-step. So you've got your outline and then you've got your fill-in. And you can use them separately or together, but this time I'm using them together. So I'll ink that up and then stamp it off so I get a lighter version. And this is one of those stamps where it doesn't sort of go right to the edge or fill in the whole petal. There's little bits of white, which looks quite nice when you stamp it off. So it's quite forgiving. That one's a little bit blotchy, but I'm also going to be putting things over top of this. Okay, so that's our base. And now we can just have fun by adding all of these pre-cut leaves and things. So I stamped a couple there in crumb cake. And I've also die cut. There's a die from the set. I'll just show you. It makes this large leaf here. So I did two of those and then cut them up. So I've got little pieces in crumb cake. And this was actually, my inspiration was a post on the Stamping Up Facebook page this week. And I forget the lady's name. I think it was Kim from the UK, had done a card using this stamp set, and hers had a flower as the focal point, but my focal point is going to be my words. but that gave me the idea of using this stencil in the background and using these leaves. So I'll give her credit for that. Right, so now I'm just going to put some of these on, and I was thinking, because I've got the Lost Lagoon there, I thought I would use the green mainly. So I've got, see how even in the washi tape, there's different shades. So those are both the garden green, but one's a really lighter version and one's a darker version. So it's pretty cool. So I'm thinking, actually, those seem a bit big. I might just use these. So this is sort of going around my focal point, which is going to be a circle. I wonder, actually, I might just go ahead and stamp that, and then we can... Sometimes it's easier to start with the largest thing, I find. So I've gone ahead and cut a circle from basic white with the stylish shapes. And I've got my sentiment here of thank you, which just fits in there. Okay, excuse me. I might just sit it there because I've also got linen thread that we need to talk about. So I'll just get my placement. Or actually, we could do the linen thread now and stick that on. So I was asked a question in class last night about how do you tie a double bow? And I said, oh, you just get two lengths of the same ribbon and just tie it like you would a normal bow. And the person didn't quite understand me, so I thought I would show it. Seeing is believing. So I've got two pieces the same length of linen thread. And then I sort of start in the middle and go a little bit to my right and make a loop. So I'm just tying it as if I would with one, but I'm doing it with two at the same time. Then I take this around the back and go through the loop. And then I'm pulling it. And at this point, you can decide if you want your loops to be the same size or different sizes. So if you pull them together, you'll get the same size. And if you pull just one, you'll make them different sizes. And I'll just make that one a little bit bigger because we're going under here and I want it to stick out. So that's about right. So let's put that on first. Now, I seem to have come without glue dots, so I'll just get a little piece of tear and tape. And this is just going to go underneath. Oops, stuck to my finger. Okay, we'll get rid of that bit. That didn't quite work. Try the other bit. This one's a bit longer. Oops, that's still stuck to my finger. Okay. So I'm just going to tape that down, and then that tape will be hidden behind my circle. Okay. And now I've got that in place and I know where my circle is going to go, I can start putting my pieces on. And I think I'm going to use, so that will be on dimensionals. I think I might just go flat. Gosh, Vanessa. So you can either use dimensionals or flat stick. And of course, if you use the washi tape ones, you've got the colour of the leaves to disguise your adhesive. So if you put adhesive on the vellum part, it may dry in a dark circle that you can see, but if you put it behind the leaves, then the colour of those should disguise it. I haven't done a card like this in ages where I all my little pieces and my thread and make something pretty. Haven't done that, so thought it was time to shake things up. Okay, so then I've got these stamped bits and my die cut bits. I might go in with these first. And you could do these any colour. I just decided to stick with the crumb cake. I guess sort of following Kim's lead on that. She did crumb cake. Her card was green. I had a green card base. Oh no, crumb cake card base with garden green layer. And then she had another layer of green, I think. Yeah. It's a really cool card. You should go and check it out. In fact, I can probably link it in my blog post for you. Okay, so we've got a few other pieces here that we can use. Let's go in with one of these stamped ones. And so at any point you can switch to dimensionals. So actually I might put that one on a dimensional just for a bit of... So I've got sort of two leaves here that I want to put dimensionals on, and I've got my small dimensional. So what I'm going to do is actually cut that in half and put one on each leaf. One half on each side. So it just spreads the load. Right, so where are we putting this one? In here, I think. I am kind of hiding a lot of that leaf, but that's okay. That's there as a background, just to sort of act as a foundation. And then I think we need something down here. So I'll do the same thing. It's getting quite exciting. There's a group of us heading over to Sydney shortly for our yearly convention called Onstage. All demonstrators are invited. Okay, getting there. Pretty happy with that. Do I just need... I don't know that I need anything else. I'm pretty happy about that. Let's put some dimensionals. Now, normally you would just pop your dimensionals on here and stick it down, but because I've got other dimensionals and I've got my bow, what I'm going to do is just see where it's going to land, and then I'm going to actually put my dimensionals in, because I don't want it to go on top of that layer. Oops, it's not going to stick. They don't stick quite as well to the backing of that tear and tape, but I'll get that off, and once the others are all there, it'll act just really for the height that I want that piece. And then I can just put some more around. I could actually have just put a big one there. Just realised it, never mind. Okay, on with the sentiment. Why is that sticking up? Behave yourself. Actually, if I moved it slightly, I can have it on the paper there. That will be better. Okay, so then I want that to go underneath. And I want my words straight, so I'm just eyeballing that with the bottom of the card there. And there's another thing you could do is have it over further and actually cut, but because my words go right to the edge of that circle, I don't have that option. But if you did something, a different sentiment, you might choose to do that. Okay, I am going to trim these tails I've just realised because that's going to be on the edge of the card. So what I might do, I should have angled my bow a bit more. But that's all right, we can fix it. Just have them coming down the bottom like that, and actually they can go off because it's longer than it is. I've got the length, just not the width. And if your thread, see that piece is quite straight, so I'm just going to anchor my finger here so I don't pull my bow at all and change the shape of that, but I'm just going to give that a little bit of a curl with my bone folder, just so it's not so straight looking. And then these ones are a bit more tricky. Might have to go upwards actually. Okay. Don't know what that black thing's from. Right. So that is my layer from there. Yeah, quite happy with that. So I'm going to put that on dimensionals. Oh, I forgot something with the words. Oh, and we can still salvage it, so I'll do that next before I stick it on. On the thank you, I can also do my little flowers, which makes it really cute to bring that background element to the words. So I'll just position it so I've got a few flowers on there. The trick is not to move it, of course, when you're doing that, because it's already stuck on. It could be disastrous. Need a bit more ink. It is meant to just be subtle. Yeah, like that. How cute! That mask is going to come in very handy, I think. Right, so now we can attach this. And then I had a great bling debate, what to use. I didn't have anything that really spoke to me in terms of this colour palette. Oops, what is happening here? So I kind of thought I might just use up, if they're going to work, some of the low profile dots. These have been my fave and they are retiring. I don't know if they're still available. I didn't actually check. And I don't know if it's even going to work, but I thought it might work. I think it does, because the crumb cake is that sort of same tone, I think. So my plan is to use these pretty pink dots. So I'm thinking there's one about there. So these packets, they came with the petal pink and gold as the two colours. Look, that really does want to keep staying up there, doesn't it, that little one? And then I'll use a bigger one. Up there. Yeah, I think that works. Cute. Just wondering if I actually do want more. I've got a leaf here. Oh, that's done in vellum. Here we are. Here's just another green, although that's green. That's green. It's going to be off the edge. Or am I just being picky? I think I'm being picky. No, I am going to put that in. It's just one on its own. Sometimes you just feel like it needs something else. I feel like it's quite same with that piece though. That's my problem. Oh, just come out a bit like that and angle it differently. That'll work. Okay, stop fiddling. I liked it before I did that, so it's still good. Right, so that's my card for today. Oh, I haven't done the inner. So the inner, I was thinking I could just do that same stamping that I did earlier. From that background, so we'll stamp that off and then stamp it down. And do you know what I just thought of? I could use the mask again on the inside. So let's do a bit more of that. Why stop now? So I just want it in the corner here. And I don't really need it over the leaves, so I'm going to try and, is that washi? Just stick it there. I'm just going to do it around the leaf. And I'm not going to colour in those ones. Just see if that's working. Yep. Yeah, that's cool. Just want a half a one over here. Down there, sort of. Oh, that's a bit light. Can actually position it back over because you can see through it, so that's handy. Okay. So let's just add the Lost Lagoon. I can find the stamp. There it is. Stamp that off. Fill that in. Lovely. Oh, quite pleased with that. And I like tying in the elements from the front to the inside as well. I'd be interested to know if any of you have tried the washi tape. And we had one previously as well. Maybe you tried that one. It was a floral one. I didn't get that one, but I got this. I'm into green leaves. It's kind of my thing. So I had to get this one. And we'll be using it also in class next month in March. So that's my card. And I am going to now just, if I can, flip the camera around. Oh, is it going to work? Oh, yes, here we are. There is my face. Oh, I didn't actually do my hair. Thank you for joining me today. And yeah, I'd love to hear how you get on with the washi tape. And I'd also love to see you in class if you're a local. I do classes in Remuera and sort of the Botany area, Flatbush, and also at Aka Aka and near Waiuku. So otherwise, I will see you now. I don't think I'm live in 2 weeks because I'll be in Australia, I think. I'll have to confirm that. I will have to post about it. And it will be in my newsletter. So I'll let you know. And I hope you have a lovely day. See you soon.